We start the news with the Vice President, Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia, who has charged the Internal Audit Agency Board to ensure that it works towards achieving government's vision of a Ghana beyond aid. While speaking at a ceremony to swear the board, Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia said it is imperative to use available resources judiciously if the target is to be achieved.
We are a country that is driving towards the vision of a Ghana without aid. A Ghana without aid means that we must use our resources very judiciously, and so we have to rely on your office, your board, a lot in, the whole audit processes of a lot of the governance that takes place in this country. And so you are going to be performing a very, very important duty. And you have been selected, when I look at all of you, very much with the capabilities and expertise to execute this function very, very capably. And we are really looking forward to a very, very vigorous undertaking of your responsibilities. So I just want to wish you the very best and know that Ghana is expecting a lot from you.
Meanwhile, the chairperson of the board, Joseph B. Winfall, assured that the board will not preside over any wrongdoing, adding their decision will not be popular but will be necessary.
I remember that during the inauguration of the president and vice president, which I comfortably viewed from my home, there were a lot of messages that were delivered to us. Some were not to sit back and be judges, but to be actual active citizens. And I was just telling my colleagues that maybe I shouldn't have gone into the profession I went into, because it makes it difficult for you to understand some of the behaviors of our own Ghanaians. And so I was just telling them that, the difficulty is not the systems, not the procedures, but it's the people which you have. So if His Excellency the Vice President is saying we have a huge task ahead of us, then I can assure you that what he is trying to tell us is that
Now let's talk about the creation of new regions. And the Minister for Regional Reorganization and Development, Dan Botwe, says not all citizens of affected regions will participate in the referendum to create new regions. Following the delivery of the Justice Brobe Commission's report on the proposal to create new 6 regions in Ghana, the minister has been telling JoyNews about some of the recommendations contained in a report. Mr. Botwe told Kojo Yankson that only those who live in the specific areas from where petitions were received will ultimately participate in the referendum.
What I've been made to believe is that it's most likely the people who in the area who petitioned. They are going to answer the question. And from what as I discussed with the members of the commission after they have presented their report. So that's been the thinking, that people who have asked for the thing, because it's always championed by some leaders, our revered chiefs, opinion leaders, youth groups, come together and put across. So people want to know that, is it the case that what they are asking for is the true reflection of the wishes, the thinking of the generality of the broad mass of the people they are leading? You understand? And therefore, that's why they all have to come and vote. And you see that there's quite a high threshold. So that is it. Yes. So they talk about other instances, East Timor, independence of Sudan, Southern Sudan. The people who wanted to leave were those who voted. They didn't ask the whole Sudan to vote. In Britain, Scotland, when they wanted to have their destiny, they alone voted. Yeah. They all did not take part in the voting. And there are maybe other states. In Canada, Quebec, not the whole country votes. Those who want to leave vote. And at times they fail to get what is the required vote. So this what they tell me, I've been found with the considerations that made them think that those people are those who are supposed to vote.
The minister said he expects the processes to create the new regions to be completed by the end of the year.
We started a lot of consultations because we thought it's a new thing. Like Mr. President said, it's a whole new area. We have never used this constitution to chart this course. And so we have to read a lot about what has happened before, the history of the country, the regional creation. We have to rely heavily on the regional House of Chiefs and other institutions for guidance and advice. So there certainly was a roadmap. We kept the Electoral Commission in view all the time because we knew that there should be a time where there will be a referendum. For example, last year we wrote to the Commission to at least alert them there was a need to have a provision made in their budget for 2018 that the possibility of having a referendum, and that was done. Then, as Mr. President gave them Commission 6 months, by the end of April, it became clear that they need extra time. We also informed the Commission that, well, the Commission may now present their report ending June, and therefore, if they recommend that there should be a referendum, they should also get prepared. They will also come out with the things they will need to make sure. So they also have a roadmap. But we had meetings with them in this office about 3 weeks ago about the possibility of, their roadmap, what they will need, upgrade of their machines, opening of the voters register, exhibition, and all of that. Yeah. But of course, they had to wait for this report to know where the places where the referendum is going to be held. That will let them have an idea of the real budget they will need. But we'll be in touch with them. There's correspondence that confirmed that we have been meeting and they have been planning.
Leadership
all
of the...
being well, we expect that by the end of the year, this referendum should take place.
Now let's go to the central region, where fishermen are warning government not to go ahead with the implementation of the closed season this year. According to the fisherfolk, the decision to implement such a policy will further deepen their woes since August. The month for the implementation of the policy is their bumper harvest season. Well, the fishermen say they will, however, disregard the implementation if government still goes ahead with the process. Richard Kwejenyako has more.
Earlier this year, the Fisheries and Aquaculture Ministry inaugurated a closed season committee that was expected to draw up a program for the effective implementation of the August 2018 closed season. The closed season, which has the objective of reducing excessive pressure on and over exploitation of fish stocks in Ghana's marine waters, forms part of the strategies outlined in the Fisheries Management Plan of Ghana to sustainably manage Ghana's marine fisheries resources. About a week ago, government announced a closed season for all kinds of fishes in August. But fishermen at Elmina, Mori, Cape Coast and other places along the coast say they can't be bothered.
July, August, September, on bumper season, family.
Some people have gone for loans towards the July, August, September fishing season. That's our bumper season. So if you tell us that we should not work for this period, then it becomes a difficulty. We've heard that the committee itself did not recommend August for obvious reasons.
What's what mind August now? Or this course season, and so I want that still. I insisted on obey.
Eja Bedu is a fisherman at Elmina. Bedu says the Fisheries Ministry is to blame for the agitation since very little consultation and sensitization has been done.
Because friend Ben or Ghana, ever catch a local fisherman Ben or Ghana, ever catch and there, I guess Monko Mawatwasi. Yet may know in Su Epono, your time or Epo or you in pa.
Which fishermen will agree to this kind of close season? This is the main time that we have our bumper harvest. We are appealing. It is not that we are just resisting government decision. We are not kicking against the close season, but the month of August is what we do not agree to. Nana Jojo Solomon is the acting president of the National Canoe Fishermen Council. Nana doubts the possibility of having a closed season this year, even though the fishermen do not disapprove the idea of a closed season.
If we had been informed even 6 months prior to the decision, I believe that we would have informed them, and they wouldn't have gone to source for loans, and so we are only asking that let us do it and do it properly, so that, because if this fails, it will be a bit difficult to reintroduce it again. So let us do it and do it well. We even asked them if they had put certain interventions or mitigation arrangements in place, so that, because for us it is not business, it's a source of livelihood, and therefore asking the fishermen, of course they haven't even experienced it before, not to go out there for 1 month. It's a bit on the high side for them. You understand, the stakes here are very high.
The fishermen want alternative means of livelihood if government is serious with the implementation of the policy in August, because they will be greatly affected by the decision. Richard Kwejonya Akon, Joy News, Cape Coast.
And we'll be following up on this news along the coastal belt of our country. But before we go, efforts by the judiciary to decongest the country's prisons under the Justice for All program may not be going well as planned. This is because, though several remand prisoners have been granted bail under the program, Love News is learning many of them are unable to meet their bail conditions, especially the request for landed property. Well, prison authorities say this is also hampering the decongestion drive and want the Justice for All program review to factor in these concerns. Nanaya Ojima visited the Kumasi Central Prisons with the African Women Lawyers Association, and our reports.
The Justice for All program seeks to review cases of remand prisoners, among others, in a bid to decongest the country's prisons. But prison authorities say those granted relief of bail under the program continue to remain in custody. Some cannot afford landed property, the bail requirement for their release. Others are not able to meet the demand of presenting public workers, or in some cases, 2 people to stand as surety for their release. Ashanti Regional Commander of Prisons, Nelson Dude, says the pressure on prisons persists despite gains made by the program.
For the purpose of the Justice for All program was to ensure that prisons are decongested. Our main problem is this congestion. And after the Justice for All program, though some are often given bail, others are released outright, others are also sentenced, given custodial sentences. But given the level of people who are not able to meet the bail conditions, they are always in the majority. So the effect normally is minimal, because you have a few people actually getting out of prison as a result of the Justice for All program.
It was also learned during the visit that some police officers still fail to show up to escort remand prisoners to court. This has slowed the pace of adjudication, contributing to the congestion in the prisons. The African Women Lawyers Association has introduced a toll-free number to collect data on remand prisoners. Edna Kuma is executive director.
We want prison authorities to be aware of it, the ones in the regions. Accra is aware, so that the inmate, the remand prisoner, their families and friends can call the toll-free numbers. If you have a friend, a son, a daughter at prison who is on remand, the case has not been sent to court, he has not been granted bail either, so he's here or she's here, please call 030-708 4567. That's the toll-free number. Only a few people are aware of the Justice for All program. And so we want the Justice for All program to know that we are here, well, assisting the project, the program, so that many people will buy in and know that they are doing a good job, so that when they give ruling, especially for bail, the recognizant bail, family members will come and bail their wards or their children. Because what we hear from a few prisons we've gone to is that people are granted bail, but because of the terms of the bail, they are still there, and it's not helping the remand population.
Nanaya Ojima reporting.
And that's it for the latest news tidbit we have. We'll have more news as we review the newspapers. Myself, Mamavi Usabwaje, Kojo Yankson, but Mamavi is right there. Mamavi, good morning.
Good morning, Roland.
Looking good in purple.
Thank you. Is it purple? Like,
well,
I am colorblind, so I have no idea, but I love it.
I know.
Roland, you know, today we're going into the quarterfinals of the National Science Maths Quiz.
Wow.
It begins today.
Wow.
And it's also today that we bring you live coverage as it happens. So from exactly 10 a.m., we're going to go to Legon live here on the show.
And it means that you have to stay glued to the channel, JoyNews, and as always from 10, you get all the tidbits. Which schools, though?
Did I say here on the show?
No.
On JoyNews.
Yes. Which schools will be contesting in the quarterfinals, just in case we're able to get a gist of what really may be happening with the latest as far as all this is ongoing, and we'll get to know what also the main issues would be as far as we're concerned, and we'll try as much as possible give you a gist of what the quarterfinals issues. And Mamavi has been giving me.
Yeah, we will show the lists on the screens in a bit.
I think
hopefully when we're doing the
I think I have KNUSC Senior High School, Infant Pim School, Presbyterian Boys. That would be the one Legon. Ghana National College, Ibri Girls Senior High School, University Practice Senior High School. That's also in Cape Coast, on the campus of Investors. St. Louis Senior High School, and San Dimas Senior High School, and Adisado College.
Okay, all right.
The big boys are all
so
there.
10 a.m. But Maxwell Agwagwa will be joining us live from the University of Ghana. It's San Dimas Senior High Technical School. All right, this morning as well, right after sports, Ann White is our guest on the show. Ann White is on the show today, and it's all about what you want to ask Ann White. So you can send me the questions like right now. Send me a WhatsApp message or a regular text message, or go to Facebook where we'll put up a post, and you can make your comments. We'll put it across to him. His quarter plays, there's a fresh play that we'll be talking about, but it's your questions that will be the center of the conversation this morning. So let us know what you want to ask Uncle Ibo. So, Roland, we've got the newspapers up next.
Yeah, and we shouldn't forget that we told our viewers we'll be streaming into the studio from the studios of Joy FM. The Super Morning Show will be interviewing Anas Aremeya Anas this morning.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So when Anas is in, of course, you would see it live here. Is he going to take off his mask or not? But there was Who Watches the Watchman yesterday. If you did watch it, let me know what you think as well. Stay with us. We'll be back with Kojo Yankson with the newspapers. We'll check out what the online portals are also reporting today.
All right, back.